Alright. Here we go again. And as usual, I've forgotten to turn on my... Oh, let's get the cameras on. There we go. I forgot to turn off my sound so it's echoing. Turn off the speakers. There we go. That's better. Hello. Welcome. This is Piece of Pat Paints. It is Saturday. That is a bonus episode. I have decided that any weekend episodes will just be defined as bonus episodes. We don't have like a reason for bonus episodes, but the idea was to keep this as kind of like a weekday thing. And now we're gonna we're just gonna every now and again we'll paint on the weekends, assuming we need to, or I feel like it, or there's time for it, or whatever. Lots of reasons. I'm gonna turn this other light on because it does help a little bit. Not much, but it does help. There we go. Makes my face brighten up just a little bit. That works. So anyway, yesterday we were messing around with this silly psychophage, trying to get this thing done, and we got to where we couldn't get this guy to stay down. I finally got him to stay down, and then I built up the rest of... I put some more Sculptamold on here to get it up to this level, so that it looks more like a natural slope. Now this is like, the slope would technically, little hiccups, would technically kind of keep sloping up or whatever. So I did that, and I put a little paint on it, which that's good. We need to have that done. Then I've been working on tons more of these guys. I even have more. I have more of them. They're getting close to their last step, which is great. Well, not last step. They're getting close to their next step, which is great. There's 40 of them. 40 is a lot. 40 of any unit is a lot. So, especially when I'm trying to make them all tricked out. And I did go ahead and I made us another little, one of our little column pieces to stick up, to kind of continue with our play on what's going on here. I think I was going to stick him like right here, because it looks perfect right there. And we got this one and that one. We got a couple other ones. We can see how it kind of looks like broken up damage. Along with that, I got us some more rocks right here. Some small pebbles, if you will. Small pebbles and bits of rocks. So, I guess we got to glove up. This needs a little bit more work, but I think today we're gonna have all this done, which is exciting, because it's definitely time to move on to something else. Either another Tyrannid piece, or moving on to... we're gonna knock out this Alexander Hamilton real fast. It actually shouldn't take too long. It's just some little calligraphy work. Oh, that came right off. Oh, looks like we have a little bit of flaking going on from our stuff. That's not good. Well, that's not good at all. I am gonna probably, we probably need to put a little bit of Mod Podge down on that so that it will stick. That's not good at all. We don't want it chipping up like that, that's for sure. So we're going to go ahead. We want one of these ugly brushes. One of these ones that the kids mashed all up. Yeah, that guy right there. That ugly cuss. Alright. I'm going to mix up some of our stuffs here. And we're going to try and get it up underneath there. That's not good at all. Get it in there. Just like that. We're going to kind of glue it back down on there a little bit. Hopefully we can fill that area up and we'll just repaint it. Yeah. With any luck, we'll just put a little fresh paint on there after it's all dried. We should be good. We'll see. We shall definitely see. That wasn't unexpected. Looks like it's held down pretty good everywhere else. Just that one little place. I wonder why. Must have been something on the base. Sometimes oils or something like that can get on your base and it does weird things. So that is probably what it was. Put that old funky thing back in there. We'll need it another time, I promise. Okay, well, that was weird. Wasn't expecting that. That's alright. You can dry while we work on everything else and then we'll come back around to it. And that's how these bigger projects go. We still haven't even done a really big one yet. We haven't done like a Titan or anything. Those things get wild. They're huge. Alright, let's not lose that guy. We don't want to lose him. Alright. So, I'm trying to get the rest of this stuff painted up. We need to start disguising this. This one's pretty well done already. So we got to get the ones on the side here and here disguised up real good. We'll grab that big number 1 because that is going to really be our friend today. We're going to cover a large amount of area. Not necessarily always underneath all these other rocks, but it is going to help us cover a good amount pretty quickly. I could pull out one of those cheaper blue handles with the wide tip, but their synthetic bristles a little bit scratchy. So I don't necessarily think I want to do that. Now I'm going to come back through here and I'm going to drop more rocks in here. But I do want to make sure the ground has the right color. So that when the rocks are in, they're the right, and underneath them is the right color. Seems like a simplistic thing to say, but it is kind of important. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm checking to see if any of these other ones are kind of raised up, and it doesn't even look like it's just that one little spot. That's so strange. Huh? I don't imagine we'll have a whole bunch of people on a Saturday afternoon, but you never know. I do want to get this finished up because I know people want to see it done. The good thing about that terracotta color is that it does kind of disguise itself pretty good for us. Because it is kind of the same color as the burnt umber is, which we're kind of stippling in right here too. Kind of help us blend that in. I want to make it look as seamless as possible. I'll probably let that dry for a little while. And remember, we are going to put in some grass and stuff too. Some tufts of grass as well as some actual flocking. Trying yet another light setup. Trying to find that perfect spot. If I can get the light over just there, we go. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure we got everything covered in these browns before we move on to our next part of this whole deal. And then we'll come back through and we'll do all the touch-ups at the very end. And we're going to have a really, really killer model to field in any battles that happen to take place around here. Looks like we're going to have to pick up a few more models for it though, to keep up with Kel's Space Wolves. Although he's still got to build all his and paint his. I have two built combat patrols basically. So he's got a little bit to go, but it's fun to have him going. Now the kids are starting to get their ideas up too. My youngest boy has got to, he has me painting his. That's Octavia. I'm not sure what she's doing. Getting in the window, it looks like. You know, cats in the windows. We're joined today by the lovely Miss Kristen, who's over there coloring in one of her books. She likes to color. She has a lot of different types of coloring bits, markers, pencils, pens, all sorts of fun stuff. Kind of artsy household, I guess. Which is great. That's the way it should be. A little bit of art never hurt anybody. That crack is a little disconcerting, but it's going to be alright. Looks like we've covered it up okay. And we just keep coming through here and getting all this stuff painted down. It does seem weird because we're getting ready to put grass on top of some of it, but it makes sense after you're done. If you don't do this process, and I do that sometimes. Sometimes I just want to get flock on it, and I don't want to mess around with painting the base. But I always regret it later. I'm always like, I should have painted that, because there's always this little bit of a color difference underneath it where you can see it, and you're like, it looks black under it, and it shouldn't look black. It should look brown. Maybe it's just me. Who knows? All right. Well, while that dries for a second, let's go ahead and get this thing ready to glue down. Oh, get it wet first. Doop to doop to do. Alright, get a little bit of black and a little bit of white. We mix it together. And then we're going to kind of start flipping it over. Oh, maybe a little bit more white. Yeah, that'll work. Just kind of tap it. Just tapping it. I'm going to leave some of that darker stuff underneath, because we're going to come through here and we're going to hit this multiple times. Over and over again. And there's lots of different ways to make stone patterns, but I found this way to be the most effective, kind of the most entertaining. It's kind of fun. Just tap, 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 tap. And then we get to make it a little bit lighter. Now I was going to play some music one night. I felt like that was helpful last time. Right. And then when I'm talking, it kind of, the mic seems to pick that up pretty good. Maybe take that down just a little bit. There we go. Yes. That's kind of fun, huh? Doesn't really need to have words or nothing. Just kind of. It's supposed to be some sort of sci-fi thing, I don't know. It's kind of strange, but it's good. Good for this kind of thing. Just watching a guy paint works out just fine. exciting to see this thing done. I'm hoping to be able to load up a short of it tomorrow. We'll have something posted like every single day video wise for a week. It's a pretty grueling schedule. Although it's getting easier, like I can do it faster and faster and faster now. Okay, nice. That part's done. Better not get too crazy with the dance moves. I'll knock something off. We don't want to do that. That was weird. Alright, so be careful when you glue stuff down. You don't want it to puddle out too weirdly. So sometimes you might need to take a little bit of that glue off of there, which is totally fine. We want it to settle on pretty good, but we don't want it to necessarily like pool too much, if you catch my meaning. Alright, there's that one. I'll let that set up. We gotta paint this guy. Man, maybe I should have just done it all at the same time. I should have painted them both at the same time, huh? Oh well. It's the exact same thing we did on the last one. And this one has the purple tyrannid growth on it, so we're going to take care of that too. But we want to do that after we get done painting the rock texture. So just go ahead and drop that down first. If we get a little bit on the tyrannid growth, it'll be alright. We'll take care of it later. I can't really see that, can you? There we go. And again, I'm just kind of feather touching it. Not really touching it very hard. Make sure you got paint on your brush. Make sure your brush is staying moist. And you know, just kind of touch it. Tip, 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 tip. Just need to aim this just a little bit more that direction. Yeah, there we go. These little boulders make things a little bit easier. We can just kind of let the rough of the model itself move around. Hello. Welcome. Thanks for coming by. We're working on a tyrannid today. Well, we're finishing it up. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask. I like to answer questions about anything and everything. Right now I'm working on these rocks. Because we want to try to get the rest of our rocks down, and then we're going to throw some flock into this side, and then we've got a few touch-ups to do, and we'll be done. Alright, so we're going to bring this up just a touch in that gray. Just kind of stiff a little of that on. And we're just kind of varying those up more and more as we go. Just a little bit brighter color, a little bit more white, a little bit more white. And these chunks up here, like I said, these are the easiest. You just kind of have to color their tips. It makes it easy on you. You don't have to do quite as much work to try and make the granite look right. And it's hard to sometimes tell what's the stone and what's the Tyrannid's little gribbly stuff. Growth. But we want to like make this look a little bit like concrete, or it needs to have, we don't want to just paint it gray. We want to give it some sort of a color combination, something that tricks the eye, make it think that it was concrete. It definitely looks like it had to have been some sort of concrete. It definitely looks man-made. It's got those edges. No, these are all with acrylics. It's listed in the doobly-doos down below which brands there are, but I use a variety of artist style acrylics, so they are similar to these are going to come out the more the consistence of an oil paint, but they're water soluble, so you can water them down and kind of change them up. I do use occasionally, I'll use an oil paint on something if I need an oil kind of paint. Ooh, I knocked that guy off. Moving around and get back on there. Alright, so we just added this one today. We had some troubles with the support back here, so we had to go ahead and build this section up a little bit more to get it to sit down properly. And we're coming through to finish the rest of this off. Okay. Keep working on bringing this stone up. Just a little bit brighter every time until we get to the right level. But the key is to not completely paint it over in any of the colors. We're kind of just making little touches of it. Just kind of tip it. We want it to be pretty random. It doesn't, you don't need to make like lines or straight areas. You also pay attention to where the model is and where your light is probably going to hit it. The hardest part is trying to do this and make sure that it's in a place where you guys can see what I'm doing. But it is a lot of fun. I enjoy this challenge. There we go. Like I said, we're just trying to get the edges. We want to leave some of that darkness. It's going to give it character. I thank you very much. Our friend here says, I'm not from an English country, and that would be English-speaking country, so I can't understand everything you say, but I appreciate the fact that you paint with the entire world, boss. I appreciate that. That really helps me feel good about what I do. I'm just trying to show different things, and we do a lot of different stuff. And so it's fun to be able to share what we're doing. This is for a game that my kids play and that I played when I was a kid. So it's fun to be able to share that with them and to share these pieces with other people. Maybe just a little bit more white. Where are you from, if you don't mind us asking? And the same thing here. We're just kind of just tapping it with the brush, just a little bits. We don't want to fully paint it. We want to let the edges of the brush just kind of touch it wherever it wants. Random. Okay, concrete is like that. Concrete is very random. Yes, it's Warhammer. It is Warhammer. It's for 40K. This is a Tyrannid, is the name of the army. This particular Tyrannid is called a biophage. I don't know what that means. It's something they made up, I'm sure. But it eats up things and turns it into energy and then blows it out. Oh, from France. Awesome. I was a chef for many years. I was a garde manger and charcuterie. I do not speak very good French, so I'm not going to butcher it. I love French food. Oh my god. I was just down in I was in town today and they had some fresh baguettes and I almost got one because I was drooling. But my poor wife, she can't eat a lot of bread right now, so I'm trying not to like rub it in her face. Alrighty. And definitely get the edges with this harder white. We're trying to knock up those edges a little bit, just to kind of really bring home the fact that it's a post of some sort. Kind of imagine there being a broken building or something here. I'm not sure. It's fun to think about though. Alright, let's see. Is our iron still liquidy? It is. I'll get a little bit of water on there. Get in there. I got one of those water drops on my brush. There we go. Yes, baguettes are a beautiful thing. They're okay here. There's a Vietnamese place downtown that makes really, really great ones. And they're good. But they're not quite like it when you get them in France. Alright, now this is our rough iron. It is an Army Painter product. Easy squeeze bottle. And it's going to look great as our little metal. Now, this is definitely not something I worry about trying to do a non-metallic metal work on. Simply because we can easily just come in here and pop on that rough iron color and be done with it. You know, of all the other things we've done on this model, I think we get a pass on if we use metallic paint on the metal pieces. I think people are okay with that. I'm okay with that. Make sure we're rotating our model, getting all our sides. Just be patient. Remember, you're in charge. The model is not in charge. You are. Alright, that's looking pretty slick. Okay, we got one more rock we got to do. And that's this guy down here. So, back to our same process. I'm going to pull out a little of that black. Mars black mixed with our titanium white. Start stippling with that darker one. And we remember with the first round, we're okay if we get a little bit more on there than on the next couple of deals. And just kind of keep coming back. Make sure your brush is staying wet. Make sure you're getting paint on there. Don't be afraid to come back and clean that brush off. But don't get too much water on your foal. That's this metal piece. I'm always just leaving a little too much water on there, and I have to get it off somehow. So I've always got to check and make sure that I've gotten it off of there so it doesn't run down onto what I'm doing. Because if that water runs down off your brush, you're going to be really mad. I'm really enjoying this. It's a fun way to spend my time retired, and my hope is eventually I can at least make enough money to pay for all of my goofy hobbies. Okay, I think that's good there. Now I'll start bringing those colors up. A little bit more white. I kind of like this camera angle. It allows me to get a little bit better view of what I'm doing, and you can still see my palette, which is great. And we just tap it. We're just trying to tip, 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 tip. Ooh, that's a hard angle to get to where you can see. There we go. There we go. I'm a whole lot faster when I'm not trying to keep an eye on that camera, make sure we can see. But it is so much fun to do. I wish I could get to the point where I could just look at the camera and paint like looking at the camera, but it's so hard. I've been trying to figure it out, but it's not easy. It's not easy. It's one of these days maybe I'll get there. We'll see. It's so hard to see down there between his claws, though. It's hard to see without all the camera stuff. Alright, same thing. Pull a little bit more of that white in. Lighten it up again. And it'll slowly kind of start to look like stone for us, or gravel, or granite, or concrete. It's got that mix of colors and tones, which is what we want to see. It helps your eye kind of. It cheats it. It's like, oh, that's definitely concrete. Look at all the different speckle to it. It's got to be concrete. Okay. I found one little spot down here on our Marine's arm. I'm hoping that this blue is wet enough still. and at least maybe underneath. That one's starting to dry out on us. I can just get enough. I don't know if you can see that little tiny white dot. I'm trying to get in there and get it to blue up for us. There we go. All right, excellent. Okay. All right, so the next thing to do is going to be dropping in some flock. Oh, we got to do that. So we wanted to make the bloody stump look bloody, didn't we? Yes, we did. So we're going to get out our red. Now I use this. This is Dr. Phil Martin's red inks. I like inks for blood, and I like inks for other things. Inks, they will, especially Indian ink. That one right there says India ink. That right there will. It's kind of shiny, so it works great for things that you need. It's not quite, but it's not quite like enamel. So like an enamel paint is going to be like real shiny. Yes, definitely. Warhammer reminded of Blinsky's work. Yes. I always liked his stuff. Really dark and fantasy kind of esque. Yeah, that's cool, man. What'd you say, honey?
Ink looks wet.
Yes, ink looks wet. It looks just shiny enough to be wet. That's a very good way of saying it. Whereas enamels can look like, I don't know, it's a different kind of wet when it's enamel. Okay, so we want to do this. Now we may go ahead and bring some up on the grass when we get the grass in, but I definitely want to get this tinged in our red. Now, again, I like ink because of the way its viscosity works too. So it's going to kind of poke down into places for us and run around into spots. We're gonna maybe a little blood trail where that's been dragged through. And like I said, when we go back and we're gonna put this flock in, we may put some more blood on top of the flock, but we want to have it down here underneath it too, so that it will so that it reads more throughout the whole thing. And I always cap this thing up as fast as possible. I've knocked over too many vials of ink, and knocking over vials of ink will make you crazy. It'll make you go nuts. Gets everywhere, and like everything is stained. Okay, so we got several options to go here on our put my gorilla away, on our flocks. Those are a little. All right, we got that one, and then the one that's kind of a little sand. And I feel like this is going to be great for us too. We'll use a little bit of this to fill in some of these other rocks. Now, these smaller rocks, a little bit harder to get down. We also, there's Miss Princess Tappy Toes again. So these rocks here, you know, they're going to be a little bit easy. They're a little bit more like standard rocks. I pulled out of my driveway. You know, you could go through and you could glue them, and you could set them in individually if you really wanted to, and that's one way of going about doing it. And maybe with some of my bigger rocks, I definitely would want to do that. But we can also do this a little different way. We'll put that over here for just a little while. Make sure that's out of my way. Okay. So, for my bigger rocks, I definitely want to place them down like that. But these little itty bitty guys, I'm probably just going to let them roll where they may, and then we'll use our liquid glue. Okay. So this one, you can tell he's got a little flock on one side. So I'm going to go ahead and just give him a glue, because I want him in a very specific place. Come back here. The good thing about this stuff is it's going to dry clear for us, which is nice. All right, the rest of these, what I think I'm going to do is where's that old nasty brush again? This guy. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the, just straight on the brush. Again, don't do this with your good brushes. Use this with the ones your kid ruined. That's why I keep the brushes my kids ruined. I keep them for things like this. If I'm putting glue on a brush, you shouldn't put glue on a brush. Or maybe you should. I mean, I'm kind of telling you should, aren't I? Maybe a little crazy. Need a little bit more glue on the brush. Glue on the brush. Okay. So we're just going to try to come through. Try not to get it on that big centerpiece rock. Anything that falls down in there, we'll use that liquid glue to get it to stick where we want it. Right there should let us kind of let the rest of those fall in there. Just so. And all these little ones we'll get in here with that liquid glue and we'll get them down. Just kind of fill in any spaces that you feel like maybe needs to have some rocks in it. This is why I like doing this in stages. I don't like doing it all at once, really. I always feel like when I do it all at once I miss something and I gotta come back and do it again and do more again anyway. Alright. Now this is glue and water. It's going away. It's mostly glue. And just enough to where it's gonna be nice and liquidy. And anywhere we put in those rocks, we got to get them to lock down. We just drop this in there. And it's going to dry clear for us, which is great. I always worry I'm going to go overboard. But if it does, like that, just empty out your syringe and just pick it right back up. No problem. I'm getting ready to put some grass down right there. Anyway, so that's good stuff. All right. Back to our glue on our brush. Maybe we'll pick up a little bit of that water too. We need to get this down for our flock because we just want a little bit of flock up here, especially in this area where it definitely looks like it would have grown because of the way the water is would have run down here in general. We want this a little thicker than the glue we were using. And maybe we won't go that far up. Maybe we're just going to go right here. I'll just leave that blood stain alone. It looks great. I'll just come in here with some weeds and a little bit of growth for the. So maybe in here we're going to do a little bit of our sand. Might be able to put a little more of that in here too. Just some smaller rocks and things like that. Alright, now this stuff, typically you would want a static thing for them. But I feel like I've gotten to where I can use these gloves and I can almost build up enough static on my fingers messing with it to like do little bits at a time. It doesn't quite stand up quite as well as full-on static grass will, but it doesn't do too shabby. Eventually I'm going to either build or get a static applicator is one of my goals. But the main thing is just don't let it clump. The clumps look weird. Dropped a little rock. Throw that down in there. All right, so we got all that, and then I got a couple of these fun things and these guys here to kind of. We said we needed to mask a few things, so if there's anything we've got to mask, this is a great way to do it. These things are pretty awesome. You can pick these up at all sorts of local or all sorts of hobby stores. These are real fun. They're like full-on weed plants. The fun kind. Or the not so fun kind. Depending on your point of view. But these things are great. We can crit that guy right here. Ah. Yeah. Get it on there pretty good. And then fluff up your flockies. There we go. Get another one over here somewhere. Get there, get there. There we go. The key is getting their little bases down on it. And once it's on there, it's fine. Alright. So, and maybe one or two of these little guys here. And these are official Citadel ones. They're little tufts. They're fun. I'm gonna put one right there. And they make different color ones. Like I saw some of them that were like a purple color or pink colors, and yeah, maybe one more. Just to cover up that little place that we couldn't get to painting. One more little one right here. We'll come back. I gotta put a little purple on that, because it looks like I forgot. That looks great. And then I do have a few. This gets a little bit more interesting. I have some horse hairs we can use. to make longer, like, reeds. These are pretty interesting. The best way to do this is get a bundle of them, kind of roll them together like this. Okay. Then a loop, cut it. Okay. Now get a few of them out. We can plant those. Make little stacks of them, I guess. Alright. So now get glue on that end right there. We can set them down and then trim them off. And we'll blow off the excess later when it dries. I'll find that lid in a minute. If some of them kind of get a little unruly, and just pull them out of there, you'll have plenty. Trust me. Come here, come here, come here. If you can't get them easily, they'll come out later. Don't be afraid to spread them out a little bit too, because you know these things, they like to kind of grow in a little bit of a fan. They don't go straight up. There we go. So just a little extra, little things to do to really help sell this guy up. Alright, so let's put another one right, no, yeah, right here. Down in there real good. If you have to, grab your tweezers. Okay, get them bunched up, and we're going to go ahead and give them a little trim. Got my excess, and I can use those later. There's a little bit of an easier way to do it, where you can kind of like take several of them and put them in a bit of foil, and then you can kind of like set them in there and go as you need to. It is a little bit more difficult to do when you do it this way, but I don't like having them all bound up in a foil thing somewhere. I always end up losing the dang foil thing, and then I'm mad. So yeah. All right, let's see. I think that little crack could use a little bit more sand. A little of our sand here, maybe. Okay, this whole model could use a little bit more of that. Alrighty. Yes, indeedy do. Alright, put that stuff away. It feels like you spend hours cleaning up after you're doing flocking stuff. It's always a mess. But it makes it look so cool. Totally what you want. Okay, so we got a couple little bit of purple things to paint. And then we'll put a little bit of highlight on our claws, and we Oof, we're so close to being done. Just make sure we got all these touch-ups, and we are set. Put that up. Put this up. Make sure you put your stuff away, guys. Always put your stuff away. Make your life easier. We will need this again in a little bit. We're gonna let that dry for a second though. But I will be probably needing that later. Just to drop some more glue on it. It seems to be drying fine right now, but we'll want to check it later. Alright, what are we doing? Oh yeah. So these are Payne's Gray. Cat hair. Still trying to make sure we cover up that little bit of white they got on it. That looks pretty good. Need just a little bit more of a touch up on this one. And we're going to come back here in a second too. We're going to hit it up with just a little bit of a highlight. But for now, I'm going to get that dark color down again. Make sure it's going to be as dark as we want it. And then we'll come back and finish her up. This one looks pretty solid. Like 6 years, I'll have all the horsehair pieces off of this thing. And it'll be fine. Alrighty. Alright, so we got a little bit of a purple. This purple gribbly thing here. It's almost like everywhere this thing steps, it grows those things. Just ever so gently, ever so carefully, get in there and finish your business. Probably should have done this before I put my flog down. But hey, I like to live life the fun way. Holy moly, it's already been an hour? That's crazy. Okay. And then we got one more back here of this purple stuff. And this one's easy. We just kind of have to stripe it across it. That purple across that is going to show up real well for us, real easy. Won't even really have to do any highlighting for that. It'll come out real quick, real clean. So if you're just joining us, thanks for coming by. I really appreciate it. Really enjoy seeing folks. If you got any questions, feel free to ask. I love talking. I love answering questions. I'm happy to talk to myself. I do that a lot. I'm pretty used to that. But it does seem like it's more fun to talk to other people. So feel free to say whatever you like, or comment, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Definitely enjoy having some subscribers. Always makes a guy feel good. And wonderful comments from our friend all the way from France, Mr. Zinadaja. I think I had that right. Or Miss Zinadaja. I'm not sure. Alright, so that's looking pretty spiffy. Pretty spiffy. Alright. Alright, so I do see. I'll do my scissors. That's okay. I have another pair of scissors. Can't stop me. Hey, I got it right. Excellent. I did teach. I taught international cuisines when I taught culinary school, so I learned a lot about cultures. And I'm a big cultural person. Like, I love cultures, so I try to keep things right. But every now and again, you know, you read it on the internet and you're like, oh, am I saying this right? And I hate just saying. I hate when I'm wrong. Especially about something like that. It makes you kind of feel a little rotten. You're like, oh man, I didn't get that right. Okay, get out of there. Like I said, you spend forever picking the stray ones out of there, but they are cool little effects, and they look great inside there. So you can't beat it. You really can't for that money. Okay. So this one will be fun. It should be easy. We're just gonna give it a gentle dry brush. We'll pull out old trusty. We want to lighten this up, so we're gonna go ahead and mix that up in that white. And remember, for your dry brushes, you're gonna take your material, some of your material off, and then we're just trying to barely dust the tops of this. We don't want to get too crazy. We're just trying to, oops, see, there I go getting crazy. I get to it fast and you'll be alright. Just trying to wisp the tops. Just the tops. More of an accent than actual painting. We're just trying to accent what's already there. Easy money, easy money. And easy does it. Don't get excited, don't get in a rush. Patience is the name of the game. And all that's really going to do is it's just going to make those little bits just pop out a little bit more for us, which is great. And that is what we want. Alright, guys, we are almost done here. This is awesome. I'm super excited. Can't wait to throw the black line on the base. That's always my favorite. Oops. Alright, so we gotta fix that pretty quick. We don't want that gray sitting on there for too long. Alright. There we go. Always get right to that stuff. Don't let it sit. Fix, especially when you're in this. You're this close to being done. Get it fixed. And you see how that just really makes that stand out. It gives all the ridges, all the work that the modeler did to make this look good. My cat's meowing like crazy. I think he wants to go up in the attic. He has an addiction to the attic. He's funny. Oh my gosh, look at that guy. Okay. 2 more things and we're done, folks. Make sure you clean out those brushes. Alright. God, it's a great feeling. Alright, so first things first. Let's get in here and put his eyeballs in. Just very, very gently with the Naples yellow. That brush may be too big. We may need a smaller one. All right, we gotta drop all the way down to the 0.5. There we go. All right, formed up my tip. Get that excess water off. Woo! Okay. Deep breaths, bold strokes. Right in there, right in there. Ever so gently. Put a little bit more on it as we go. I'm almost not even moving the brush across it. I'm almost just like touching the brush with it. Need a little more paint. I'm just going to bring somewhere up here on my glove here. Ah! Dagnabbit. Come off there now. Be good. Woo! Well, that'll make you pucker up. Okay, alright, where were we? Let's try that again. Oh, goodness sakes. Come here. We got a loose rock, too. Yeah, get in there, baby. Yes. Now you got it. Now you got little eyeballs. I don't know. You probably can't see them on the camera, but I can see them here, and that's what matters. You can see them here. So that looks good. All right. Now we get to do my favorite part, which is blacken the bottom. I really want to thank everybody who comes by and watches us do this. It's been a lot of fun. This model has been an adventure. Get out where you can see it again. Burr, burr, burr. So I really, really appreciate all the support, all the kind words, all the enthusiasm. It really helps me go every single recording is special for me, and knowing that other people, literally from across the world, that's awesome. France today. That really helps me kind of go, okay, people are enjoying what I'm doing. I'm not just screaming to the void, you know. It helps me get up and want to keep doing more, which is great. Now that I'm retired, it's, you know, I gotta find other things to do with myself, and this is it's a great hobby, and I really enjoy painting, and I always liked teaching. So the idea of maybe having a channel where we're doing different stuff, we're teaching people different things about modeling and painting and gaming and whatever, even if it's through just like a little vlog kind of thing, seems like good times, and a great way to keep myself from going too crazy. All right. Yes. Almost all the way around. Lovely. All right, folks. And there it is. That is our Tyrannid biophage. Ooh, let me get to where you can all see. There we go. Boom. In all its magnificence and glory. It's a great looking model. It was a lot of fun to build. That pesky white piece over there. and it definitely is going to look great on the table, and it's going to be fun to play with. So definitely tune in next week. We're gonna start with finishing up this Funko Pop, which I've got to do for a commission, which is awesome. And if you're not familiar with Funko Pops, they're really cool. Just these little doll things. So I got to paint a logo on that for a chef friend of mine, which super cool there. And then once we get done with that, we will get into our probably get into finishing up the Screamer Killer here, which will be super fun. Anyway, I really appreciate all the folks who came by. I really appreciate all the, like I said, the nice words and all that stuff. I think I've said all this. Anyway, thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you on Monday for our regular schedule episode. We finally got done with the Tyranid one more time. Oh yeah. Oop. You'll see it again on the highlight reel at the end when I'll do the shorts that have the highlight reels. Well, you know what? I think maybe I want to put a little bit more magenta in these. Get them just a little bit more red, a little bit more magenta. Yes. Looking at it on camera, and I saw one thing I just had to have fixed. Yeah, that looks a whole lot better. Yes. Thank you so much, my friend. Have a great day, and enjoy a nice glass of wine, my friend. If you drink it, if not, enjoy a wonderful cup of coffee. Have a great day. Just gonna go finish this up, and then we're gonna call it. At this point, it seems like I already did a little cheating with the Sculptamold. I better finish this all up on camera, huh? Alright. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm happy. Now we're going to call it. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much again. Have a great, wonderful weekend. I will see you next time.